Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's journey, I have a little box behind me for my GR Corolla, and I'm going to be installing it. So let me show you what I got. So I have a little box here from Sixth Element. So today is the day to put it in. This is something that I've kind of debated for a long time. Wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not, but I finally decided to. And this is what we got. We have their intake. So, very cool. We have a couple of couplers. We've got their little hose fix, and I'm not sure if I need this or not. I've had the TSB done, so I'm not sure if I actually need to use this, but I will find out. So, the pipe, and this is really one of the biggest reasons why I did this. Was because originally I was just going to keep the stock box, but I wanted to get the turbo inlet from Sixth Element. But a lot of people kind of told me that it was it wasn't the same size, and so then I'd be hunting for something that fit as far as a coupler and whatnot. So it just seemed like it might be more hassle than it was worth. And then one that I saw that they did, it just didn't look good. So I decided to do this because their turbo inlet will go right with this and go right into this tube, and we'll be all set. So, and then of course here looks like our goodies to attach everything. So that's where we're at. And let me get started. We need to pull off the old air box and go from there. So I'm going to hustle through this pretty quick. I am going to take off the strut brace just so I have better access back there. There we go. Go. Okay, top is off. Let's pop these clips out of here. All right, there we go. It even says GRC on it. That's cool. So this is going to attach right there. And then the sixth will fit in there. Very cool. And the nice thing is too is they didn't even charge me anything for it, so they just made it and sent it. So it was very nice. Kudos to Velocitech. Why do it manually? Not that I need it, I just gotta go fish it now. I have to take this pipe off. So, slip that out of there. I do believe everything is out of the way now. And now we can reinstall, but before that, I'm just gonna clean up some of that dirt, gunk, rocks, and everything else I got in. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take off the two rings here, because you're going to use them on this. It is kind of cool though. This is the one that goes more up under the cowl, and it's cool how Toyota did this, just with a little rubber knob and a hole in it to keep it from spinning, since you can't get back there as easily. It's kind of cool. Okay, so then you're going to take this and just kind of slide it. There we go. So you want to leave this one, that outer one, loose. Your pipe here, make sure that it's seated. There it goes. Okay, this long piece of tubing right here, I could have done this before, it would have been a little easier. We can pop that out. There we go. It winds around back under here, and it goes to the fitting right here. You see that? So what we want to do is take this off of this little T-fitting. There we go. I'm going to keep this and just put all these parts together. And they supply a little tiny, I'll show you this, little tiny cap that is designed. There you go. I'm just trying to get it all the way seated. There we go. I need to put this piece on. This will go over this end. I'm ready to go ahead and install the box. Now what I did, the box has a couple things you need to do to it. There are two little brackets here, little L brackets, and the orientation is down. I did not want to do this with it already on, because these little screws and the washers they provide with them are tiny. So I did it on my workbench. So, and here's the other one, there's two of them there. And then on the bottom, there are three little feet that you can plug in. And those are designed to snap into the OEM fittings. So it just pops in and pops out, which is a nice touch. And they have a little flat place to get a wrench around them. These are 7 millimeters. So snug those down. And then this right here is what's going to go into that. So pull this out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to try to, there we go, slide that in first, and then get these positioned over the little OEM. Oops. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I see what that one's for. Interesting, yeah. They only put one. They don't worry about this side over here as far as the fitting goes. That is going to attach right under here. I probably should have done that on the bench too. So I ended up just popping this out since I hadn't connected anything, and I attached the vacuum sensor to this on my bench just so I didn't have to fuss with that little bolt. Didn't want that thing to be popping out or anything. If I clip that in, I'm going to slip this over this. There we go. That way it gets rid of that space that can just let hot air in. There we go. Wow. You know, they give you 2 screws. I don't even think you need them. This thing snaps into place and is tight. 4, so that's what I'm going to use again. There we go. Now, tighten these down. Tighten up the hose clamps and then put in our MAF sensor. Be very gentle when you're messing with your MAF. So there's an arrow on it right here. Make sure the arrow is going the way that the air flows. So, yeah. You just want to make sure it gets seated down into it. And then they provided, they're actually screwed into it so you know where they went, but they provided 2 very small Allen screws. There we go. And once that's in, you can reconnect that. Need to reattach this, even though there's nothing connected to it now. You still want it to see the connection. So you need to just gotta figure out which way it goes. Only got 4 chances. I think this is the last possible orientation. Hey, what do you know? 4th time was a charm. So, okay, let's hook that up under there. You don't even see it, and that looks beautiful. Okay, now I can go ahead and tighten the hose clamps and get that situated. The 2 hose clamps that 6th Element supplies for this position are 8mm heads. The OEM ones are 10. Got that around that one. Now, I'm going to go ahead and position. There we go. Alrighty. And then the last one, you switch back to a 10, will be to tighten this one up. Okay, there we go. So all 4 hose clamps are now snugged down. So the only other thing that we need to do is to go ahead and seat this with the screws that they gave us. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off and then we'll seat it. So the lid's not quite lined up. If I line up that hole right there, you can see how that sits and that one sits. This one I think is close enough from there, but I don't know. I might have to have a different one. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I did get all 4 screws to thread without any pressure or anything. So I just did this one first and left it loose, and then 1 more at a time, and they all went in. One thing you don't want to do though is don't over tighten these. I mean, this thing will probably crack pretty easily, so be careful with that. They do also make a solid cover if you don't want to see the air filter. I think I actually prefer seeing it. It looks kind of cool. As far as this, so I'm going to initially not use it. I want to see if I throw a CEL or not, because I can't use this as it is because I have the Radium Engineering oil catch can on there. So what I did is I used the OEM piece right here for this bend because the hose that they gave was really stiff and it kept wanting to kink right here. So I just used a barb and attached that. I don't think I want to mess with it because this doesn't, the original hose went down to the turbo inlet right there. You can see right there, but now that comes from the oil catch can. And you can see it right there, and it winds around and goes to the turbo inlet. So that ain't gonna work. If I do use this, then I would have to go ahead and cut this one right in the same place. So cut that right there and then run the tube over. So I don't know, we'll see, but I'm not going to do it initially. I'm going to leave this as a whole piece and see if the TSB fixed it without having to run that. I don't know. I know I don't have to worry about it once I get a tune, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm going to do this. I will be installing a turbo inlet also from 6th Element. And I have right here, I have my 6th Element intercooler. So my wife just finished cutting me out a stencil and vinyl like she did before, so I can stick it on there and paint the GR4 on there, which I want to do again. So, but as far as this is concerned, this is all done. Oh, I got to put my strut bar back on, so that's no biggie. Alrighty, guys, I was getting ready to go on a little drive after I finished that, just to make sure everything was going okay. And I was going to kind of do this as I was driving, but my best friend from Texas called me and we ended up talking for a while. Then my wife woke up. She worked last night, so she sleeps during the day. She woke up, she was hungry, so she wanted to go out for happy hour, so I'm back. So it wasn't exactly how I planned it, but I got the GR parked back again underneath the lift here, so everything ran great. Everything feels fine. I didn't expect it to feel really much different since I already had the Velocitech on there. So this was more of a mod so that I could easily put in the turbo inlet also. But I like the way it looks. It's clean, and I still get the benefit of my Velocitech ram air intake. So that's a nice thing. So, but everything went well and feels good. And so, you know, nothing really out of the ordinary to report at this point. If something happens or whatnot, then I'll go ahead and let you know. So, but until next time, guys, have a good one. I appreciate you watching everything, your support and everything. Smash that like button and subscribe and all that good stuff that we all ask you to do. And until next time, we'll see you down the road.